going on? So, 41 years ago to the day, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, college basketball greatness to the NBA. And it's hard to believe it just seemed just like yesterday that when these two guys emerged, not only did they change college basketball, but they changed the NBA. And there are reasons why. Let's start with the obvious black and white. And anybody loves a good black and white script more than Hollywood, I want to know. Then also, they went to conveniently to the Boston Celtics and Los Angeles Lakers, respectively, the two historic franchises in the NBA. You couldn't have written this script if you had tried to. Now, if you grew up in a certain time, you remember when the finals was on tape delay. Yeah, it's hard to believe to watch basketball as a global sport that comes on prime time and all that. There was a time that mess was on after 10 on tape delay. Why? Because the NBA was considered too black, not marketable, and it was considered that white folks was not trying to feel it or see it. So funny thing, these two guys emerged, and these guys brought it back to a point where people were watching. They got into it. And they are two of the greatest NBA players. And they're on my personal Mount Rushmore. I mean, I would say this again. I know Luka Doncic is getting all kinds of love. There hasn't been a better white boy since Larry Bird. Dirk Nowitzki was nice, but and there hasn't been a better American-born white player since Larry Bird. Respects to John Stockton stuff, but Larry Bird was still cold with it. Hasn't been anyone, hasn't been another white player that was cold with it. And I still would debate people, Larry Bird versus LeBron James, who's the better, greater small forward. Because Larry, you just don't know how bad that guy was. I mean, that guy, no, he wasn't fast in motion, but he could move, he could get his shots off. He could move. He was magical, pun intended. He really was something else. It's a bad white boy. And then as far as Irvin Magic Johnson, one of my favorite players to watch. And the only point guard to come along since Magic that got my hype like that was Steph Curry. And I debate between the two if I was going to put on my all-time starting five because that's just how great both of them were in different ways, but great. To watch that level, that style of play, oh, that's some top-tier basketball, you know. And Magic, precursor to LeBron James with size and agility, didn't score as much, but he did everything else. Was a team winner, great player, and he had the smile and the charisma. So you put that when you put him with Larry Bird, and then you go, what to have you. But that college basketball game was a classic. Was on NBC back in the day. Michigan State did beat Indiana State. But what ended up happening, the win was for the fans. The win was to watch. This was a time when you used to watch sports and you could see guys going from one level to the next, and you could appreciate them and you could see their maturation and what they were going to evolve into and where they became. And theirs was that was an amazing time to be. That's when sports really was like captivating because then you saw them go to a league and turn it out to the point where, you know, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson's jersey should be retired in every NBA stadium. I kid you not. They should have like statues everywhere because were not for those two coming together, the marketing aspect and the success aspect paved the way for what Michael Jordan did, for what others who did after. Really, when you think about it. And they really brought the rivalry, the intensity. It was incredible time. So to remember those two on this date, that was a turning point. And there are very few times when you watch sporting events where you sit there and you're watching something unfold before your eyes, and then it evolves it gets to even greater heights on the next level. That don't happen too often. Most of the time, it's some Cinderella story like when how Tom Brady coming from Michigan and he evolved to being the GOAT. You didn't see that coming. Or Steph Curry come from Davis and you didn't see him changing the course of the NBA. You don't know where these guys are going to be, how they're going to evolve, what they're going to turn into, because there's so many factors involved. And then when they turn to it, it's like, wow, so. But anyway, I wanted to reflect on the anniversary of it, mark an anniversary of that college game, which changed not only college fortunes, but also changed the NBA's fortune, but also the black and white component, because you know, it was a big thing, racially, class oriented, the whole nine. So Anyways, my thoughts and takes about the anniversary of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird historic college basketball game, which led to the NBA, and then their legendary status as two of the greatest ever. Give me your thoughts and your takes on those two, the impact, the implications. Hit that like and subscribe when the bell rings in the video. Wash your hands, clearing your mind up even more. Watch out for one another, and dare to dream.